Where is everything though? Because he didn't notice the Overlord, right? It's still in the top position. Yeah, absolutely. He never noticed it. That one Overlord completely ruining all of Reynor's plans.
Yeah, and to your point, the cannons, they're all at the natural. He thinks that this is a Nidus Worm out from the front. That is so common on this map. But it is that secret Nidus Worm in the main base. The Queens pop out. Disaster strikes. And you gotta figure that Reynor is not happy about this one.
He's smiling at the very least. Yeah, there is no recovering from this.
He's giggling. Oh yeah, there it is. A good-natured GG, but what an excellent bit of preparation coming in from Serral right there.
This worm, which with it being protected, he will not. Then I am obviously very scared for Reynor's chances here. More roaches being pumped out, a spine crawler being added. Fourth hatch, will it bother being? I mean, I feel like shouldn't it be canceled?
It should absolutely be canceled. He's got a bunch of gas in the bank. He could make, that's three more roaches just with the money getting back. But now Serral is going to be jumping on him. Reynor doesn't have roach speed. This is looking very deadly for the Italian Zerg. A little wraparound of Lings. The corrosive bow, does land quite nicely. And that's going to help out a lot. Those roaches at the front line, a little bit bruised up. Good target fire for this Nidus Worm at all. This could be a kill move right here into the main base. We've got those roaches from the high ground. Or, well, that were in the main base already. Oh, no, move command from Reynor. Oh, no. Serral takes a very advantageous couple of volleys from his roaches. And so far, it's not critical damage yet, but this has so much potential. Meanwhile, on the fourth base, it does go down. Serral is just running circles around him with these Nidus Worms. It's not the initial push, it's the value of the Nidus Worm over time. How often can you say that? Brilliant game from Serral.
Comfort zone, but he will be on the defensive, and Reynor will be leading the charge. 9 times out of 10, it's actually Serral kind of almost re-engaging. He really wants to actually take this. Of course, the battles come down, don't hit anything, force the pull away from Reynor. But Serral is already down 50 supply. Did he actually maybe misread a little bit?
Yeah.
Hydra reinforcements coming in. He's going to hold for now, but he is still drastically down in supply.
Yeah, right now we've got 2 gases for Serral. This is absolutely dedicated. He hit these Banelings on the bottom side. Oh, they're going to get in here, going to try and find some drones. The thing is, you can defend this. If you don't lose any drones, you win. But if you lose drones to this, you are very far behind. And if he loses the third base, oh my goodness, this is a devastating situation here for Reynor. Behind this, Serral starts droning up. He's not going to commit to a big Roachling Bane all-in. He could have if he, if he didn't kill this hatchery. He had plenty of options. Oh, blindly face checks the ramp. Takes a pretty big connection on those Zerglings.
On the other side of the map, if they just pop out when the roach is already there, it's going to be bad news, and Reynor is going to be even further distracted, because this might not even do damage, but I feel like as a distraction, it's still going to be good enough. Serral already moved to the middle of the map so far. I think avoided the Overlord, now probably seen. The Reynor is still dealing with a handful of Lings. Again, those mutas are not going to help all that much. At the very least, he might get Banelings in the natural, but even that is being denied. All of the roaches suddenly appearing on Reynor's side of the map. How in the world does Reynor defend against this? They actually enter into the natural as well, and that's going to be so much chaos, so many dead drones, and in fact, I believe, a dead Reynor.
It certainly is the finisher, living up to his name right here. We are seeing a ton of damage, crippling damage. If he could have plugged that gap, if he maybe could have prevented the roaches from bustling on through, maybe he could have held long enough for the mutas to add in their splash, but it's not going to be enough. Serral is going to win this meeting once again between these 2 titans of EU Zerg.
The Banelings are morphing, they're not quite ready yet, and this is more than just a couple of Zealots, Waddy. This is a very decent amount of Zealots, and Lambo could be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, the Banelings actually across the map, I believe, so the 4 in the corner here are going to take a little while to finish up, and this is really bad. A few Lings in the back get caught in the Stasis Ward. Zealots can keep on trading, and ShoWTimE's just finding so much value with that +1 attack, hammering away.
Such a tiny investment, but it can potentially save the game for you. As the Stalkers are a bit out of position, and Lambo with the nice little swapperoo move around gets on top of a couple of these static defenses. The Lings getting on top of the probes. You have a couple of Banelings that are going to turn around and try to connect with Stalkers. They're not quite sure what they want to go for. I think in the end they want to go for all the probes. Man, these Banes have been indecisive as hell.
Yeah, they've been one way than the other. Now they're going to go for these probes here. They do have +2 melees. It doesn't take much to knock them down. More Banes coming in on the other side. They're walled by the Stalkers. I mean, that's less efficient for Lambo, and ShoWTimE Stalkers do have sentries to back them up. We're going to hit some force fields here. Not sure how much I really like it. A few Zelds running in the pictures. There are a couple of Archons. Super battery activates to try and keep them alive, but doesn't last long enough. We're recalling over here, but ShoWTimE's just going to end up tapping out. GG.
That's okay. So we have not too many static defenses here, right? Like maybe if Lambo goes right here, right now. It's a lot of Archons. It's a lot of beefy, high HP Protoss units. But I think the longer Lambo waits, the worse it gets. It's kind of now or never when it comes to this attack.
Absolutely, the Disruptor is going to get to go off as we have Archons continuing to attack. The Banes just haven't really found anything, and the Lings are struggling to get anywhere as well. The Roach Ravager numbers still look good, but they disappear so quickly against Archons and Immortals when they're microed by a Prism. All that static defense in position, and ShoWTimE makes it look easy as he turns this around with so many units left over.
Killing 3 Stalkers is actually pretty decent value. So a little bit of a mistake by ShoWTimE, who's actually ending up losing a decent amount of probes to these Mutas. Well, these Mutas are already finding a little more success than I expected them to find. Single cannon gets picked off, and that slow Stalker warping was very sloppy. Otherwise, I think this wouldn't have looked like this. In the end, the Mutas will probably end up falling, but not before grabbing probably a couple of additional workers and at least keeping ShoWTimE pinned back to his side of the map. And Lambo feels that he has bought the time to fire up that hive now.
Yeah, these Archons just chasing this army down as well. The Disruptors may be a little bit exposed, but they're gonna get massive shots off. Lambo just feels like he's turning around to commit for the game. It seems like he's trying to go Great Aspire. Just obviously feels a bit lost, I think.
Keep on running away. That's where the Stalkers get their extra shots in. That's where the Stalkers can blink forward to and shave off a few more of these Hydras. And Lambo's army supply is dwindling. It seems to be ShoWTimE that is going to advance into the upper bracket final of TSL 9. But he's got no units.
Yeah, this was such an unfortunate scout. Solar, he had that +1 missile on the way. He set it up. He sold the build. Unfortunately for Reynor, he wasn't able to get the scout, and this is exactly what he was struggling against, what he was worried about. No roaches on the field just yet. They're going to pop out, but they're going to pop out into a brutal situation. The Spine Crawlers, they're going to go down before they complete. The Banelings are going to take them out, and this is looking... I mean, this is looking incredibly tough right here. Yep,
it's looking very dire. I do think the 2 defensive Banelings found some good connections there, but Solar just had way more battle units on the other side of the map. To see this amount of links now, his Baneling that's about to finish up. I think a Spine Crawler could be useful if he has money for it, but he needs Banelings, he needs his own defensive Banelings, and he needs a lot of them. Keeping the 3rd hatchery alive, that seems like a bit of a pipe dream, but obviously Solar doesn't just want to cancel that hatch. Solar wants a whole lot more. We have 2 Queens on hold position on the ramp. Sniping 1 Bane. The Banelings of Reynor are very close to finishing up. The first connection is really good, but Solar still has a lot of units here, but that was a phenomenal start for a potential defense for Reynor.
That was a brilliant Baneling connection. Oh, the last Baneling just... Did he manually detonate that?
The last Baneling of Reynor went down to splash damage of Solar. Now Solar still has a lot of links in the main base. Reynor's going to start losing drones here. He still has a 9 drone lead, but he can't lose too many. This seems like a very ugly drone fight. There is a morphing Bane in the mix as well. 11 drones have gone down. Reynor has extra units. Bailing, a lot of drones clumped up. What an, oh my goodness, what a connection there for Solar. And just like that, it is all over, and Solar takes the 2-0.
It's his turn.
Yeah, doubling the army supply. Reynor, who was down 0-2 in this best of 5, is now doubling the army supply on a very small map. Solar, meanwhile, has invested in a lot of extra drones to catch up, has now even taken the drone lead from being very far behind, investing in 2 upgrades at the same time, but none of that is going to help him here against the silly amount of roaches that Reynor is working with. And like so many times in his career, it seems like the kid from Italy has done it again. An 0-2 deficit is never going to stop him from believing of getting the job done. Wow, he just does it again. Down 0-2, stays in life in TSL 9 and moves into the next round of this tournament.
After one of, I think it was versus Solar, his victory there, you know, why are you bringing out this mass bio style for stalling the second factory, not getting it at all actually, and then really not even getting a lot from the first factory? And he said that he just felt good that day. Yeah. That he just he felt like his hands were listening to him. So apparently it's happening again now. That is of course happening behind what is still a very scary push. Once again, lots of creep spread cleaned up, but perhaps a bit overzealous, forced to pick up as the huge surround came in. But that was, you know, kind of always an option considering the drops. And still, very intimidating to go up against Maru in the late game.
Yeah, absolutely. The adrenal glands is going to get cancelled. That's huge. It means these Lings are so much less effective than they could have been for so much longer. And that's actually really rough because you want a lot of Lings to fight against these, to fight with these lurkers, basically. They are your buffer, so even better if they're running in and helping out. To line up some snipes. It's a lot of lurkers, don't get me wrong. He does move into them a little bit, so maybe he needs to chill out a little bit right now. As we do just have a Widow Mine going down, and Lambo kind of on his last legs with this one army.
It is a pretty good army with that many lurkers. I mean, there's going to be a decent amount of snipes, but not enough. The bio is starting to wear thin as well. The ghosts, the concave, is it going to be enough? Looks like it just might be. It got dangerously close, however, as some of the last lurkers start to fall. That was a little sketch for Maru, but yeah, we do have the tap out. GG. Maru cleans up game number 1. Maru is pushing into that right side base. He is also getting pushed again, though, so probably the best decision that Lambo can make at this point in time. Question is, can he actually turn this into a decent base trade? He's going to lose the hatchery, take care of some of the units off the left side before they're picked up, but the attack through Maru's main base, is that actually going to do enough damage? It looks like it's cleaned up whatever was defending, and it actually enters on top of that production. That is a big moment in TDZ.
Yep, absolutely. Lambo will be able to stop down reinforcements for a bit, and this is why we typically say you want to be kind of coming back home to deal with this stuff, and he does have some units, a lot of units coming back home to clean this out. He loses 30 SCVs. Obviously, all these units will go down. Is there any follow-up here from Lambo? Because the supply does drop a lot from Maru. Lambo has, honestly quite a bit of money in the bank as well. If he can just get the lava to rebuild. He's got 7 right now. Head Ninja and Ultra Cavern. Is there a world? And he's going to get even more SCVs. Maru's economy is going to be absolutely terrible for a few moments, but I fear that we lose too many units as Lambo. I mean, he's half the army supply. A little bit faster to produce here. As Maru, I don't know if pulling the drones over here was my favorite call. I feel like you saw it just too late for this to be super great.
I agree. I agree with you. Unfortunately, Lambo. Maybe it just worked.
Oh, a bit delays.
I mean, I feel like that barracks is supposed to finish, but
I feel like the first SCV that got hit ran too far away, like way further than it needed to.
Yeah, I thought with 2 SCVs still alive, this would finish. But, guess we're wrong. No. Casters, please. Obviously, this is a great idea. Lambo.
Down.
Just stopping everything in there.
There's another base in the bottom right corner of the map as well, so it's just non-stop. Maru is just dealing damage that Lambo is never recovering from. Yeah,
it feels like Lambo thinks that this attack through the middle might just have enough momentum to get into the natural, get into the main. Again, on top of production does make things very odd, but he can't actually even do that, so it settles for third base SCVs. He has a decent chunk of them, but Maru is going up to 5 base at this point. 3-3 is also a timer that Lambo has to worry about, and he did just lose a base, a very important base in the bottom right, an equally important base in the middle right, and a macro hatchery. So in total, 3 hatcheries down. Larva will probably become an issue. Lambo not getting the momentum that he's really looking for, even as he once again forces the lift off of the third base. Maru, he's going to be able to stop the flow. He's not going to get overrun, and I think that's what Lambo actually needed to happen, was an overrunning situation. It's not happening.
Yep, Ling Bane continuing through, but obviously Maru brought his other units back. GG is called, and Maru is going to find his 3-0, keeps his TSL run alive as he gets to go through into one more match today, and obviously playing to stay competitive for tomorrow as well.
Those are the first 11 Banelings that Reynor is morphing. 66 drones is awesome. We are going to pick up a couple of reinforcements, but how are we going to stop this army? And sure, it's only 1 tank, it's a lot of Marines, but these Marines are feisty. The Raven drops 2 other turrets as well right before it goes down, and I think all these Queens are left for dead, and Reynor is in a world of trouble here in game 1. A couple of slow Banes actually, finding more success than I anticipated, but I still don't think it's anywhere near enough.
Absolutely not. Marines left over, they're going to have this mineral line for themselves, and, well, what, extra slow Banelings, target fire those down, I'm sure. GG from Reynor, short and sweet on Waterfall, as Maru 2 base all in, no time wasted, and a 1-0 lead.
Reynor obviously at this point is 0 Spore Crawlers, guys. Does go for a quicker lair, but that lair's not done yet. No Overseers, man, this is gonna hurt. Reynor's about to feel the pain of a Protoss. Now, he has played a lot of Protoss over the last few months, so he will know how terrifying and how annoying these things can be. That, matter of fact, takes a lot of damage.
Oh,
no, this is gonna hurt, boy. It's gonna hurt.
Surely somehow only
so much
4.
worse. And Maru is probably like not even ultra unhappy with how all of that went, because the matter of fact is still alive. We're gonna drop the Widow Mines one more time, and both mines will fire. And like, oh, and he has that other mine that he tucked into the corner that Reynor lost track of. So 8 extra rounds. What an opening for Maru. Suddenly it feels like there isn't all that much creep to work with, and Maru is an absolute master in baiting the Zerg players and fighting at the edge of creep, where you think, yeah, I still have a bit of a speed boost. No, you don't. You're gonna run into mines, you're gonna be distance indecisive, as we have a few banelings. They don't want to go for the Marauders, but they don't stand a choice, and Reynor just cannot deal any damage. Bit of friendly fire there on one of the Widow Mines, I believe, but Maru gets a phenomenal fight. And where's Reynor's army?
I just don't know, man. Like, he's chased away the drop at the very least, but these meters just haven't done much at all. What a crazy addition as we just keep on pushing forward, and Maru's forces 50 army supply ahead. All these Banes are just hitting Marauders. They can't find any Marines, and the few Marines there are just hitting down the Mules, so they are not really that useful. We save only Marines there as well in the medevacs. What a sick pickup to just get the Marines and leave the Marauders to tank.
Yep, just to make sure that you don't randomly suddenly start losing all your anti-air and then 10 Marines start pushing you back. Maru looks unstoppable here in the second game on Data C, where of course the mines did great, but the follow-up push really wasn't all that hot. But that apparently does not matter for this man, as he takes a very convincing 2-0 lead. And for the third time in this weekend, Reynor is down 0-2 in his best of 5. A sea of medevacs in the sky, like the healing just did not stop. And then having Vipers to drop a barrel bomb or two is fantastic. These Baneling connections were good. Widow Mine goes off on an Overseer. The Hydras are looking mighty fine. I mean, I've had the Hydra out for a little while there, Wardy. It seems like a pretty good unit, as Maru is dropping in the natural though, and this is where the Hydras obviously are not as mobile as Middle is, so it's a bit harder. We're gonna try to burrow the drones, but Maru had a scan available, and yeah, Reynor did some economic damage, but Maru is dealing even more economic damage. A few tanks is really all he has, but if you don't have any ghosts, these tanks are sitting ducks. They will just get abducted one by one. Even a blinding cloud there towards the left side I think would be quite decent, and there we have one of these blinding clouds going down. I mean, this Zerg army feels very unstoppable. Even if your name is Maru with just a couple of Marines and Marauders, you're not gonna take out this many Lurkers. All the reinforcements are being rallied through the center of this map. Very decent amount of Marauders in the mix here as well. A few Marines are leading the charge though. This is where Maru has that upgrade advantage, and this is probably where he wants to try to make the difference. 2-2 for the Terran players, still 1-1 for the Zerg. +2 melee, not even on the way yet. Look at these Marauders, they're just trying to hold the line. But in the end, it seems that Reynor has more than enough units to push Maru back for now. That Widow Mine gets picked off too before it fires. Maru is right on the edge of creep, and he snipes a couple of Banelings there. This is actually a very sexy fight. Is this where the upgrades are going to carry Maru into that victory that he needs? It just doesn't feel like he has the numbers. He's microing well, he's getting some decent trades, but given how the rest of the game is going, it does not feel like it's good enough, Wardy. And Maru can never go back. He needs to keep on going. He seems very determined to get this hatchery. Does get it, but at the cost of pretty much every single Marine and Marauder that ever participated in that mission. And that is not a trade that Maru can be in love with.
Lurkers are ready as well. Seismic Spine soon to finish up, and this Bioforce will have to go back to trying to drop and just attacking elsewhere. Maru's supply is really looking worse for wear. He flies back over the Queens, and the medevacs will keep dropping down. GG is called. We're going to game 5.
Use caustic spray on a couple of these production facilities of Maru. The BCs are in range though. One of the Yamatos apparently was still on cooldown. Reynor wants to go for a little fight. These fights can go very bad, but so far it's working out all right for the Italian. He gets one BC. We do have repair kicking in. Gets the second one too.
This is kind of bad, right? I mean, now the repair's too much, but you get 2 BCs here for a handful of Corruptors, and okay, we've actually got 2 more popping out, but resetting that BC count is big.
BCs are very casually going to get on top of the gold base, and Reynor has barely been able to enjoy that gold. He's going to end up losing a handful of drones, and this hatchery definitely seems to be super dead. And the amount of Corruptors that he has right now, that's not enough. 13 Corruptors against 7 BCs. If you fire 7 Yamatos, I feel like Maru can fight this, and Maru can win that fight.
Yep, Corruptor count not high enough at all, as the Corruptor count gets halved in an instant. I don't even think the Infestors can really change much here either. Just, yeah, we're going to scan up. We drop a Fungal Growth. Corrosive Vials on mass could get rid of the BCs, and we get a chunk on the Battle Cruisers. Okay, maybe the Infestors can make the difference.
Alright, that definitely shines pretty bright there, but the Ghosts are always going to shine quite bright as well. They land a couple of snipes. I mean, the Ravages have been absolutely phenomenal for Reynor, but it normally feels like it's a day late and $1 short, as we have a few more Corrosive Vials going down. The Corruptors are actually pick up that one BC, but so low, and HP somehow gets out of there. Maru does have a couple of stores left on the ground. Few Lings are going to show up, but I mean, these are 0-0 Lings, Wardy. these Lings. They can surround that Thor for days and it still won't kill it.
Why the heck not? Fungals miss the ghost. The EMPs are down without any spellcasting at all. This should be a grand finale of this series as we push on forward. The snipes keep coming through. The BCs teleport in to kill everything off. Maru takes the 3-2 victory. The mech is good to close out the series. And yeah, Reynor unfortunately is eliminated from TSL and will not see the final day.